Alright, Shalom. Let's give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. That one to the apostles, great millstone. Citation all you Akia and Aquas out there pushing the truth, making your body a living sacrifice. Children of the light, Yahweh Kanan.
Brother Sharp.
And we here on the highways and byways to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great. Isaiah 28. We here to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great and the ushering in of Yasha Allah kingdom under the Israelites, which is us. So we representatives out here. Again, Ezekiel 3:17. So yeah, so we representatives out here to explain to y'all what's happening before it happened, which is prophecy.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, "For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Who shall teach knowledge, and who shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little."
Yeah, that's what we here to give you. We here to give you the understanding of the scripture, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So that's why we'll be jumping around like the house of pain. That's why it's Isaiah 28:8 first. And then it's Ezekiel 3:17. And then we'll go for the meat and the potatoes.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel."
Yeah, so that's why we out here with the 12 tribe sign. Because we out here being watchmen of the house of Israel.
It says, Ezekiel 3:17, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word in my mouth."
Right, come, which is coming out the Bible.
"And give them warning from me."
Right, so we got to give you warning from Yahweh Shah. And we're going to give you the warning, second Ezra 16, 19. Yeah, we're going to give you the warning. I just did a lesson on this. These same scriptures.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 19.
Hold on, let me finish up.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
No, start at 17.
All right.
16, 17.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 16.
And you can ride that motherfucker. Ride it like till the wheels fall off.
Okay.
Because we here to warn y'all of what? Here you go.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 16. "Like as an arrow which is shot out of a mighty archer, returneth not backward."
Right, we're just talking about the missiles. So once they shot out these silos in this Third World War, get to the last final trunk, 7, ain't no turning it back.
It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 16, "Like as an arrow which is shot out of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again."
Right, so this is Egypt all over again, and the plagues of Egypt must take place.
It says, verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?"
Right, which we understand Yahweh Shah to keep you from the evil. How do he keep you from the evil? You want to get it? That Ezekiel, what is it? 8 and 1?
Okay.
Yeah, I know that. I'm going to show you how he keep you from the evil. Should be Psalms 119 and 9 first.
I know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, time. But we still have
Okay, go ahead. It says, Ezekiel 8 and 1, "And it came to pass in the 6th year."
Yeah, it's 9.
Okay.
My bad.
9 and 1.
Yeah, but remember the angels that exempted from judgment.
This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 1. It says, "And he cried also in my ears." Well, is the point is at 4.
Yeah, but yeah, you can go for it.
Okay.
Give my interpretation.
Ezekiel 9 and 1 to 4. "He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to
Right,
draw."
see that? The angels have charge over these cities. And we're going to show y'all and expose y'all through the prophecies and the mysteries of what they doing in these cities.
It says, Ezekiel 9 and 1, "He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near." even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. It says, and behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city.
Right, because Israelites is in all these cities, from the east, the north, the south, and the west, and all over the world. So the angels go through these cities, and what do?
It says, Ezekiel 4:4, and the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
See that? And that's why Ezekiel 3:17 said, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Go give them warning for me. And if you've given them warning, Isaiah 58:1, go out to the highways and byways. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, spare not. Proverbs say, go into the highways and the hedges. And Matthew say, bid them to the mares. I just mixed 3 of 1. But we understand that that's the highways and the byway, the hedges and the street corners and the, outside, like where we at right now. Anybody right now can go past. They understand, the kids be over here, everybody feel. And then the Spirit gonna lead you anyway. But the point is, we out here making ourselves public. And because of that, the word is going out, and it's go out. The heavy lifting is the Europe and the Thorn, which is the internet, which y'all watching right now, the epistle. So it's going out 2 ways. And as it's going out, it's going to accomplish what it's supposed to. So that's why we out here to do that. And y'all exempt from judgment if y'all watching this and y'all doing these things. And the angels have marked you exempt from judgment. And if you don't get that, you're going to get this.
I got a precept too.
Yeah,
about, okay. About how the word was going to go out to the whole world. Matthew chapter 24. This is Matthew chapter 24. I'll start at 11. It says, and many false prophets shall rise.
Right, like Nahum, like Genesis, like Sabak. They can't come to the understanding of the RFID chip. Nate trying to circumvent himself back to it and talk about digital currencies and all that now.
It says, Matthew 24:11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Right, and there's a lot of people in those congregations, and in the church, and in the secular world.
It says, and because iniquity shall abound.
And that's what's happening, because America has taught through its light, Luciferian light, that the people are iniquity abounding. Now everybody got husbands and wives at work. And they proudly say that too. So that's that wicked and adulterous generation. That's why the kids nowadays don't know anything about looking for a husband or a wife, and they don't have no ambition to do it because of all of these social media sites and all these influencers and all this witch talk out here.
Yeah.
And that's just one level outside of the economics and where they at in life and reality. They all fucked up. And not just the children, the parents too, the leaders, the elders, the ancients with the gray hairs, like myself. They more folly than the kids. They play the video games longer than the kids play now. Yeah, man, you want to play this 2K, you want to bet on it, and then getting fights and physical stuff over those things, which is a damn video game. They got the influencers on there right now, setting up scenes where they go into certain neighborhoods and they ops and all that. They were showing one of the guys doing that.
Yeah,
so they influencing y'all to keep that folly going on in y'all mind, which is witchcraft. Oh well. But we still out here to give y'all warning on what's happening in y'all reality.
Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
And we see that. That's why parents don't deal with their kids. The kids don't deal with the parents. That's why you can't have no family reunion and no basic little gathering and get together with your friends you used to go to high school with, middle school, nothing.
It says, verse 13, but he that endure unto the end.
See that? So you got to harden yourself, come under these scriptures, and endure into the end. I mean, you can't be no flake, soft, offended, bitch ass nigga or woman. Because you got to endure to the end. So you got to harden yourself.
Gird thy loins.
Yeah, this is a fight.
It says, but he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world.
And that's why we doing our part right now. And the Europe and the internet, Psalms 19 is doing the heavy lifting. So this goes out to the ends of the earth, to the Europe and the
Yep, come. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
Right, and that's what Oprah asked the lady, and the lady said, "No, the Lord promised us." And Oprah, now you look in the food, and your spiritual leaders is pedophiles, and they's a part of that Epstein Island shit.
It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
That's why Joel, the 3rd chapter, is taking place now in the Levant. And you also have the RFID chip being issued and will be mandated, and we will be up out this motherfucker. So that's what we're waiting on.
This is back in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4, and it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations.
See, that's how you exempt yourself.
That be done in the midst thereof.
Right, see that? So make sure y'all occupants and your aquas stay on y'all watch, and stay being that example and putting on the knowledge of Yahweh Shah and renewing yourself, man and woman, in deeds and knowledge. And don't be playing, don't play yourself out here. Because let's go back to that 2nd Ezra to show you what's all finna take place. And you can ride that all the way to the end unless you get some precept.
The 2nd Ezra?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
That's what we left off at. 2nd Ezra 16, 17. Because this what's gonna happen. That's why you gotta, with the knowledge, get yourself ready. Because you gotta exempt yourself from judgment. But I'm gonna show you what kind of judgment is gonna come on the earth.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
Right, Yahweh Shai. Now you're seeing how you go about getting that deliverance. Because you want to be exempt from this judgment. Go.
It says, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows.
See, that is the beginning of sorrows. That's why welfare being cut off. That's why food is being raised to a higher rate. And the junk food and the lousy ass food is being left in the stores, the spoiled food. That's why all of your meat got expiration dates on it. That's nothing but 5 to 10 days, 15 days max. That's why your bread and all that shit goes stale, and they got this Franken food. Because it's a famine happening. They got the people too gluttonous and too fat, and there's no way 15,000 plus chickens ate every weekend. There isn't those many fucking chickens, assholes.
I ain't never thought about that.
Then you wonder why they fucking got the hormones in the chickens and growing them 6 times faster, and them same hormones is being transitioned to you. That's why motherfuckers got man boobs and all this testosterone and all this shit going on.
Estrogen.
Yeah, estrogen, because it's in your food, your bread, your beer, your meat, all your meat, motherfucker. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 18.
Don't forget you get something.
Okay. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning.
See that? Great mornings. And that's why you see all these people dropping dead. The Aki was just saying, who just dropped dead?
Warren G.
Right. And motherfuckers in great mourning.
At 41 years old.
You 41, I'm 47. See that? That's great mourning. You just hear Young Gotti, Earth Gotti. He got $100 million from that Zionist Jew. He dropped dead. His family was in great mourning. The man just got a renewal of his whole life set, and he finna go into his second dream vision. He was successful in the music, so of course he was gonna be successful when it comes to writing books and writing little scripts and using some of his old footage. He had all that shit, and he knew it was gonna be a banger out of him. Great morning. So it's great morning happening. Young kids are being killed on an alarming rate. How you think all them people feel at that Jewish synagogue, even though we know it's MK Ultra mind control? The point is, people are being killed. How you think them people feel in Kuwait, having their son that just got killed, protecting his homeland under false pretenses? These wars, which is theater wars, but real people gotta die. So it's a lot of great mourning happening around it. And the more you be on this earth, the more you're gonna have people testify of great mourning, losing their loved ones to all this cancer, through this early BP and all of this forever chemicals around here that's killing your loved ones. The vaccines they use to kill your loved ones already. The occupant at my job, Jesse, was talking about that fucking COVID man came, my father, hard-working man, we couldn't get him from being outside, and his guts literally bust open because they had to go through his intestines and stitch it up and do something, and he out there and his guts came out. That's a horrible way to die, and that's painful as fuck. But this is great mourning that's happening on this earth, and it's gonna continue to grow. But people walk on in darkness like ain't shit going on. But go ahead.
Yeah, Scripture speaks on being in gross darkness.
Yeah.
This 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 18, it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death.
Right, see that? People can't even afford to feed their families anymore. Women are doing all kind of horrendous things to feed their kids on a day-to-day basis. And see, don't nobody consider that. Ain't nobody considering none of that. Motherfuckers trying to make it through the desert, through Mexico, to make it here to America to feed their family and just have a job. Ain't nobody considering that. They're making all these movies about it though.
It says, 2nd Ezra 16-18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
See that? And you see that. The powers are the leaders of this world. And you see them. You see how they just went to Maduro and his wife? They standing in great fear. The powers. It's going to transition to how we start taking America and its leaders into captivity like they do in the whole world. They the hammer of the whole world. So they exhibited that God-like power, but it's coming to this place last.
Yep. This is it says, to finish it off in that verse, it says, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
Right, because you're going to need a supernatural power to help you from all this stuff. To keep you from, remember we were just riding past and they just killed the young little dude out there on the retaliation? Well, you didn't see it. I got to see it. I'm Salaki.
That was what, in Racine?
Yeah, right here in Racine, right on Douglas.
When was that?
About 2 months ago.
Okay, okay, oh yeah.
And the retaliation, I happen to be knowing the girl who that happened to. She told me she didn't give a fuck. I said, well, let me get away from her.
This is 2nd Ezra 16-19. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish.
See that? It's happening all over the world.
It says, are sent as scourges for amendment.
Right, see that? We sitting here telling y'all why these things happen, but what's happening?
It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness.
Right, so we know y'all gonna continue with the Babylonian doctrine. Y'all gonna keep going to church. Y'all gonna keep doing y'all Easter, Thanksgiving, y'all adultery, all that. But we still gotta come out here and warn y'all to get the blood off our hands. That's Ezekiel 3. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Ezekiel 3:17 already told us to go warn them people.
And I got a precept in 1 Peter. You know, and it,
Cold.
yep. 2nd Peter, chapter 4. Okay. Let's say I got it.
Why you win?
My,
You got to. Go ahead.
like I don't know. It's just my head don't.
Hey, if your head ain't cold, you ain't cold. Shit, I am.
It was already been. So let's see. Second. This is 1 Peter. Salaki. There we go. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. It says, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished.
Yeah, so y'all being reserved and y'all with all of y'all wickedness that y'all doing.
It says, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government. So y'all don't want to be told what's right. You want to be naive and do what you want to do.
God. Willingly ignorant, according to Quran.
It says, presumptuous are they,
See?
self-willed.
Self-will. See that? Ain't nobody finna tell you what you finna do. Ain't nobody finna tell you finna come out here on the highways and byways and stand out in the cold and teach the people. No, you got things you want to do today that you had lined up in your mind. You see how we was standing there and we was like, shit, we gotta go outside.
And that's the exact, what you just said was the exact example of what I was thinking when I first read the scripture. Ain't no, because that's what's going to, I got to go outside in the rain. And
right,
what's the point
it's
of that?
cold as fucking. Ain't nobody going to be listening to us. We can just do this shit indoors or do it tomorrow, or you know what I'm saying? Then it's over. We'll just do it next week.
But if you were spiritual, the scriptures say prophecy to the wind.
Yeah.
It says, presumptuous are they, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignity. And I'll finish at 11. It says, whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusation against them before the Lord.
See that? They wouldn't dare tell them, oh man, them stupid ass niggas out there teaching. They playing games and shit like motherfuckers listen.
It says, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 20, it says, but for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Right, you can still go to the flea market, you can still go get all these deals, you still got all your holiday sales, you still got all your Christmas sales and all that. You got your Black Friday sales, all that shit. You still got these deals going on with these devices, these phones. Y'all running all kind of deals at your job. So people think they in good case. That's why these deals are coming out, because it's fulfilling prophecy. It's keeping you people docile. That's why they got the bread and circuses at an all-time high. And they got for you to have deals for the game, to watch the game, to be at the game. All that shit. That's why they doing all these things. The elites know exactly what they doing.
God. It says, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
Right, all kind of bad times and shit happening. War popping off all over, people being stranded in certain countries, get killed, drowned, celebrities being killed, all kind of crazy shit. You like, every day you wake up like, damn, some crazy ass shit always happens.
And if I may say, that's the exact thing that happened at the falling of the Western Roman Empire. You had the plebeians, which was the middle class, lower class citizens, starting an uproar, just like they do in America.
Yeah.
You had the patricians, who was the higher class. They started to lose their control and their power.
Yeah.
And as the Western Roman civilization was falling, the bread and circuses was at an all-time high, like it is today.
Like today. That's why they make everything so exciting. That's why when they shoot, they playing a regular goddamn game. They got 170 games to play. They on game 60. And here hit a winning bucket, and they have the cameraman and everybody, be all, you notice that now?
Yeah.
They be all in their face jumping around, and now they want to interview the basketball player when they ain't never used to show you that much footage of the NBA after they was done playing. You used to get nigga finish, walk off the court, then go to a commercial, then come back off a commercial, then have them niggas at a press conference. Their press conference would be less than 3 minutes. They ask the niggas how they felt and get the fuck out of there.
You right.
Go ahead. I probably watched it. Go ahead.
Because now after a game, they have a whole hour to 2 hour segment showing you all the
play, what happened afterwards.
But it don't make sense because you can just show them 10-minute highlights.
But no, it does make sense. They got to keep the bread and circuses at an all-time high. It's psychology. They drawing you in. They drawing you in.
And I noticed that because you even had the broadcasters was like, well, we've been here, this is hour number 7 we've been here. And you can see it in them, like, kind of being sarcastic, like, we really don't want to be here this long, but we have to.
And they getting paid. But they getting paid good money, though. They're getting them extended contracts. That leads more of them more jobs now, because more of them get to fill in and get more opportunities at them jobs instead of only being an hour of broadcasting of a newscaster. It's 7. I can break that up with 3 people and pay y'all $150 a year. Because remember, y'all around play people, y'all interviewing people who make $6, $12, $8 million a year. You ain't around no motherfucking coworker who make 30 grand a year like your ass do. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole other world.
Right.
That's why they brought a lot of women into that sport. In broadcast, you see them, they got their heels on, got their nice little dress on, ass is looking good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because one thing about a woman, as soon as you throw her into the picture, you don't attracted 20 more of the dudes who ain't even sports fans. They just looking at her.
Looking at her, and she talking good. She making the sports look good. And the men doing the same thing. So they got them buff. They got ex-basketball players, football players, all commentating. That's why they doing all that.
They give them their own little podcast so they can keep that little cult of personality they got going.
Come on now. There we go. Like the Shay Shay room. See that? See that?
He told that girl, he said, I'm going to have to close this camera and get your number if you
see that?
told me.
See that? See that? They put that spirit on them. But okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Gotta have a little fun with that.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other, that's deep, that's heavy. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, because the scriptures say the worst way you can go out is to die of your hunger and limitation.
And these wars gonna cut off a lot of this food. It's gonna be hyperinflation. That's why people gonna be invading each other's houses for the lack of bread. And the scriptures say that. Chapter 15 and 16. That's why we at least going through the 16 a little bit. Because we got to get y'all mind prep for 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. Y'all finna start encountering that. Because they say that through the war in the Strait of Hormuz, that the European Union, they starting to go into more of a crisis with their fuel. And remember, they deal, and we watch a lot of that PBS.org. So they deal with a lot of crude oil and shit like that, because they still making bread in the old ovens and all that shit. So they need all that fossil fuel shit. They ain't dealing with all this electric and all this grid shit. See, they ain't got Europe set up like that. That's why they still got the best cheese, the best wine, because they still dealing with them ancient items and shit. So yeah, but they said right now that shit going up. So America, and they trying to get other people to come in and help them, but ain't nobody helping with they name.
And I was gonna say it's a spirit. That's a spirit because this is what the elders led on their outside yesterday. They led with 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. What is it? It says 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Yeah. So you're gonna get killed in some form or fashion. Either a bat, a knife, a gun, something.
It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down.
Leading all the way to the ICBM missiles, but even before then, you see Israel and Iran, how they barraging each other with the missiles, especially towards Tel Aviv and southern Israel and shit. People are left in them buildings with hundreds tons of rubble on top of them, and they still just finding the bodies because they can't even go dig them out because the war is still taking place. Where they even Israel just told Iran that we even attacking, especially towards the Hezbollah type area. They said they even attacking the ambulances because they said that Hezbollah is using them to transport their weapons and their troops. So they said that even the ambulance finna start getting struck. But just imagine you in an ambulance trying to go pick up some people that just a building just fell on 2-3 stories, and you got a drone tracking you to fire upon you. That's what's happening right now. They just testifying all that on the news right now.
Yep. It says, verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall no man comfort them.
See that? Can't nobody even go get them bodies to bury them bodies. That's happening now. That's why I say the prophecies are happening now. It's just gonna be an uptick of these prophecies. That's why we're gonna keep reading these motherfuckers to y'all until we get to the last place, which is America.
It says, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
Now you should be thinking of I Am Legend movie. That's where the directors got that from, with Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. It says, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Because in that movie they showed you, and it's a reason they show you certain things. They showed you the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, but it had all that, what's that? The Babylonian grass.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Vines and weeds.
Yep. Showing you that nobody was there to, well, that was pretty much symbolic of America losing its power.
Yeah, and no man there to tilt the ground. Because, see, people got to come and cut the weeds away and shit. That's why you see landscaping so heavy and big here in America. Because they got to keep this concrete and the grass from growing in between it and shit.
Yeah.
So they got to keep filling it with this coat and trimming it with the weed whackers and shit.
Yep. It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, chapter 16 and 25.
And that's those city jobs. And they pay them good. Them city jobs, the young jakes get them city jobs doing that, working throughout the city on their heavy equipment. They also get a skill trade, but they also learn how to use labor with the skill trade. They learn how to use the bobcats. They learn how to use all the different equipment, like weed whackers, lawnmowers. They learn how to mess with the spark plugs, how to put them together, take them apart. That's why they have them youth programs that used to be traits back in the 60s and 50s, but in the 70s they took them out. So when I came, 79, all them trades was out the school. So us working with our hand and being laborers, making a daily wage for our family, that shit was done.
It's called husbandry.
Come on now. Hey, they killed all that. Economic castration. Esau did that to his brother Jacob.
It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 26, the grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them?
So we're going to go back to that, because Babylon finna fall. And you see them doing austerity measures in America and in Europe. And austerity means to cut back on social services. So that means to cut back on welfare, to cut back on the youth programs, all that, the parks, the building, I mean, the keeping up tick of your whole nation and shit. Like that little park you go play at, you see how they redid the whole park and shit, tore it all up. See, the austerity measures, they want out of money for them budgets.
That's why they just cut off most of America's welfare.
Yeah.
The elderly, the single women, that's who
Okay.
needed the most. They just cut it off.
Yeah.
It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice.
And you're seeing that now. The fleeing of these wars in these countries, whole families are being displaced where they can't see each other. How you think the people feel in Ukraine? They can't never see their loved ones again. They not only dispersed over here in America and Europe, from all the way across seas. Some of them, most of them dying over there in the wars.
That's why Elder Tahar just said in the outside lesson, he said them 5,000 to 10,000 U.S. Marines that just got sent over, he said they ain't coming back. He said they're going to be out there for at least a year, and a lot of them is going to, that's the first wave, so a lot of them ain't coming back.
Yeah, God, yeah, because it's going to uptick. Everything finna uptick.
Because Iran just said, United States, where's y'all boots on the ground? Send y'all troops. So Iran
So they ready. They ready. The Carmanian raising their wrath. The Lord turning them back to their ancient state. That's why they like, no, fuck that. We ready. You just killed our leader. Now you talking about you finna kill the son and you looking for the son. They on TV right now saying that not only they looking for the son, but they either killed him or they trying to kill him. They right now boasting that. And this man just got elected after y'all just killed his father and his family.
Con. Yep. Then that's what I'm talking about, because they killed him, his son, his wife, and his father, which is your whole generation. That's your older generation, you and your younger generation.
Yeah. And they got more kids. He got more kids and shit. Trust me.
Come on.
Especially now, he's seeing what's up. Trust me. Don't think he ain't making moves.
It says, 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left.
Yeah. And they gonna do this to America cities too.
And 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks.
Because y'all gonna have them mountain fallout places and all that shit. Esau already building that right now. They showed that in Leave the World Behind. That's what all them houses was. They was off, and you notice they was able to look down on the city.
Mm-hmm.
They was off in the mountains in the good reserve areas where they where Esau paved and made all that.
Yep.
And built all them little farming fleets and all that shit up there. Took all that material up there. But see how far it was from the city? They was all the way across the bridge, up in the mountains and shit, up in the good area. That's why they was able to look upon the city like, damn, what's going down over there? Missiles dropping over there, all kind of shit. Oh yeah.
Jets fly by.
Yeah, because the people in the full-blown Civil War. That's what we read right here. That's how we know the depiction of the movies is foretelling the scriptures. So we here to give y'all the warning.
Yep. And to add to that, because now that I think about it, they did have him like the best area.
Yeah, that was.
Because,
come on, go ahead, you got it.
Because when they found that bunker, even if you run out of all that food in that bunker, remember what they saw in the backyard, 40 different like deer.
Right.
So if you run out of food in the bunker, you just gonna kill you a deer.
Yeah, so you just stay over there. Stay over there.
Yep. So Esau, he know what he's doing.
Yeah. But these scriptures tell you what's gonna happen. So you're gonna go up in the mountain, what's gonna happen?
It says
you're gonna have all that shit, and you're gonna see the deer. But what's all gonna happen though? Let's see what's gonna happen.
It says 2 Ezra 16 and 28. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the cleft of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives upon every tree, there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days shall there be left 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword.
Right, so it's gonna be a house-to-house search.
And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns. It says, because no man shall travel there through. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And I think that newscaster, that video I sent in the chat, I think he either brought that out or the elders brought that out, but I just heard that being said not too long ago as well. So it's no coincidence that we read it in the scripture. It says, verse 33, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
Yeah, it's hard raising kids through these economic and hardship times, yo. Not only do you not have a man to help you economically, but you don't got no protection.
It says, verse 35.
That's why the man gonna be more questioned.
Yep, Isaiah 13 and 12.
Yep. So get ready, ladies.
It says, hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. See? Okay. You know, it say ye servants of the Lord.
Right,
so
see that? Go ahead, you got it.
It's getting direct. You know, it's speaking to us. It's speaking to the hopeful elect. It's not speaking to everybody else.
That's what we started off with. Who gonna be exempt from judgment? Who crying beside on the highway? Nigga, we ain't never talking to y'all. Shit, y'all out of here.
It says, Isaiah, 2 Ezra chapter 16 and 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake.
Right, Jesus Christ bullshit. Allah bullshit. Muhammad bullshit. Buddha bullshit. See that? Scientology bullshit. That's all bullshit. They ain't talking about shit. They leading y'all to y'all destruction. They're not getting y'all ready for this third world war and the RFID chip. See, they ain't telling you about that. Buddha ain't got shit to say about that. Muhammad ain't got shit to say about that. They don't know why these wars jumping off. They leaders quiet in the motherfucker. Because they don't know what the fuck going on.
The scripture in the Apocrypha, and what's that? Wisdom of Solomon, it goes in heavy. In like those latter chapters, talking about how false idols can't come to light. False idols have no power.
And they don't speak, right? So that's why they not saying shit. That rock Muhammad and going around the Kaaba and all that shit, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Man will dress it up. They'll uplift it and prop it up and
clean the motherfucker every day.
But it don't have no power.
Power.
It'll fall right back down.
That's
power.
it. That's why they prop that motherfucker up.
Okay. The second Ezra chapter 16 verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
And that's what's happening now.
We in that 2nd and 3rd hour. Because people starting to say, wait, dang, this going on and that's going on, and
they can start to see this shit now, like, oh shit, wait a minute.
Yep.
Right, that's World War III. They even saying it now.
Right, like, oh, wait, what
we
you mean?
World War III.
We just attacked Iran. Why we do that? You know, what you mean why we do that? See, you got caught up in that 2nd and 3rd hour. We've been on, you starting with the elders and apostles on down, us brethren, we've been watching this, you know, the whole, whenever we got called into it.
Been saying it. Some 12 years, our elders 40 and beyond that. They be saying Iran, China, Russia, Y'all, the Carmanian. What's that? What? Now you see it. Ezekiel the 38th chapter, Magog and Gog, be a guard unto them. You see Russia being a guard. Because what did they say? Oh, Iran have Russia using their satellites and spy shit to target American troops and soldiers and bases. Right, nigga, that's being a guard unto them, goofy ass.
Yep.
fuck we gotta show you this shit.
Yep.
Like, that's a shock to us that Russia being a guard unto Iran. Nigga, the scripture said that.
November, December of 2018, you told me, remember these three countries, Russia, China, Iran.
Right, you don't remember shit else.
And I said, okay, I'm going to eventually find out why I need to remember them, but until then, I'm going to keep them 3 in my head, man.
Right, and now it's here.
Yep, 7, 8 years later.
Yep.
8, that was a quick 8 years.
Yeah, quick. Time waits for nobody.
It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it every side. O my people, hear my words. See, it's been highlighted once again. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
And that's what we doing. We here to make y'all ready for the battle. Get ready for y'all. We shot in the second coming and the return.
And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Right. That's why the argument way up here from Texas, up here in Wisconsin. That's why I was way in Seattle and I brought my ass back. And I was in Texas. But the point is moving our ass around.
Can I get a testimony?
Go ahead.
Because I say about a year before I came here, I had a dream that I was in the car. And I was in the passenger seat. Bishop Nathaniel was in the driver's seat. Bishop Nathaniel's wife was in the back seat. Bishop Nathaniel's daughter was in the back seat as well. And they was driving me up north, and they said, "Are you gonna go with us?" And I said, "No, I gotta stop in Wisconsin so I can do the works." And they was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool, that's good." And then when I looked in the back seat again, his wife and his daughter was kissing. Remember, This is a dream.
Yeah. But it showed how their spirit is defiled, and that's what it ain't gotta be them, but they defiled. And they doing wicked things, so they get a sellout, and they don't tell them what they doing behind the scenes, but it's the foul shit going on.
And I looked at him and I said, remember, he driving, I'm in the passenger, and I said,
meaning he running the show.
Come on. I said, is this what y'all do? This how y'all get down? He's like, oh, brother, don't worry about that. You know, that's
Look
cool.
the other way.
You know,
See,
don't worry about
that's
that.
what he telling them brothers in his camp when they ask about the RFID chip. They ask, well, why isn't the name? He tell them y'all window shoppers. Stop doing that, or I'm gonna kick y'all out.
Man. So hey man, Yahweh Shah, man, he got a way of exposing these false prophets.
Yeah, come on.
It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 40, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those days and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away."
Right, so ain't no wrong with having merchandise and you got you a store and you selling this shit, but don't be holding on to that shit like no matter what's gonna happen, you gonna have your store there no matter what for the next 10 generations. Nigga, you lying.
Because in Ecclesiastes it says, or Ecclesiastes us, store not your riches in heaven where moth does rust.
But no, store not your riches on earth.
So like,
No, you said it, you just go ahead.
Yup. It says, store not thy riches upon earth where moth.
Rust and robbers can come in.
Come on.
But in heaven, you can't fucking get to your
Yep.
shit. This shit. So that's what we doing. We storing our riches in heaven, so we doing the work for Yahweh Shah. While y'all sitting here trying to figure out how to go around Trump tariffs, still fuck with China by any means necessary. We spend all that time on the damn computer researching and looking up different prices and different wholesalers. Instead of doing this work and building yourself up and having that faith, because you got to keep that nappy head ass wife of yours happy with them dumbass kids going to these Ivy League schools and keeping these dumbass sports entertainment things going on, because they got to go to soccer, your son got to train for his football, and your wife got to make sure she cooks the cookies and she a part of the meets with the moms and all that shit. You trying to keep all that shit floating in their head. I ain't doing none of that shit. Holla. I do that shit for King. When I got 100 of them hoes.
It says 2nd Ezra 16 and 40.
I got hoes.
Well, we're gonna have.
I have 100 of them hoes.
We're gonna have wives. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All of them. Concubine and wives.
They gonna be for that man and that man only forever.
Right. Forever. And they gonna love it because they gonna have everything. They gonna have motherfucking maids, everything. Hairstylists, maids, everything. They ain't gonna do nothing but just come holler at dad.
And I'm
King.
good. And a good example of that, I'm reading Genesis 20. This was in the 24th chapter, 23rd chapter. It says when Abraham died or was about to die, he sent the chief man over his house to go and pick out a wife for Isaac.
Right, there we go.
And it was
The
12.
best.
And he said
From
he
the
went.
Lord.
Yep.
So you don't pick your own wife, nigga.
And he said the chief, the one that got sent out for Abraham to pick the wife, he said he watched all the young women and he saw Rebecca was the fairest.
Because she's supposed to do certain things too.
Come.
And he told her that this how it's supposed to be and this is what I want you to pick and this is why. So he was looking for that. Remember that she's supposed to be the one that come and feed his but remember his master told him that this how you gonna know the one. That's how you know it's spiritual and it's the man upstairs controlling everything.
And it told you that he was getting nervous and he didn't say nothing because he wanted to play it out like
because he got to make sure that she do this shit. Because remember, he on the line because he vowed that I'm gonna do it.
Right.
But he don't know like that she gonna do her end. But that's the faith to walk with unseen. You got instructions. Do you believe them instructions? Not you got to see the instructions to believe them.
Yep.
That's why you testify of having that dream that you was supposed to come up north. You said, no, I got to stop in Wisconsin. I got to do the work.
And what did he do when he no, okay, yeah, this is the one, this is the girl.
He said it.
He gave her a gold earring.
Why? Because that's the ceremony of getting a wife.
And gold bracelets.
There we go. That's the ceremony. And you got to go to the father, and then you got to ask him, and you got to pay him for his wife.
Right. So in the kingdom, our women gonna be decked out.
Yeah, decked out, 100%. Yeah, and then we do a little bit more than these things.
Okay.
We'll stop wherever you want to.
Okay. This is I'll start at 45. 2nd Ezra 16 and 42. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that have no profit, buy it, And he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein, he that soweth as if he shall not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as that they shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor, labor in vain. Yep. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So with that, I hope you brothers and few sisters was watching us edify. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom. Next week, y'all know what time.